Daily learning.
Choosing myself over their voices. I know what they say about me is totally right, but I have my own will and decision to not hear them and block any word that could harm my feeling. I repeat it to myself whenever I walk into a room, whenever I scroll through the noise of the world, whenever my heart starts trembling because of whispers I cannot control. It is not denial, it is not ignorance, it is simply survival. Life is too fragile to let every sharp comment pierce into the deepest part of my soul. Life is too precious to let careless voices dictate the rhythm of my breathing. Sometimes I think about the way words carry weight. Words can be gentle like sunlight on a cold morning, but they can also be heavy like stones thrown into the still water of a heart. When people decide to define me, they do not always understand how much their sentences echo inside my chest. Their phrases become shadows that follow me when the night is quiet, trying to convince me that I am smaller than I truly am. Yet, every time I hear them, I remind myself that my heart is not a fragile glass to be shattered by their judgments. My heart is a river, constantly moving, endlessly flowing, finding new paths whenever stones try to block its way. There are moments when silence feels like my closest companion. In the silence, I can breathe without interruption. I can heal without pressure. I can exist without explanation. It is in that silence that I tell myself once again, I know what they say is right in their eyes, but their eyes are not my own. Their perception is shaped by their own fears, their own experiences, their own wounds, and I refuse to carry the burden of their unfinished stories. Whenever the world becomes loud, I choose to protect myself. I close the invisible door inside my mind, not because I am weak, but because I am wise enough to know that not every voice deserves a place at my table. I protect my feelings the way one protects a fragile flame in the middle of a storm. I cup my hands around it, I shield it from the wind, I nurture it with patience, because I know that once the flame dies, it will take so much effort to light it again. My feelings are my responsibility, my safe place, my compass, and I cannot allow destructive words to break them apart. Over time, I have learned that courage is not always about standing tall and answering every insult with louder strength. Sometimes, courage is the decision to walk away, to smile gently, to remain unshaken even when everything inside is trembling. Because when I refuse to hear them, I am not running away. I am choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, self-love over self-destruction. Day after day, I practice this quiet rebellion. In the morning, when doubt tries to knock on my door, I remind myself that my worth is not a reflection of their opinions. In the afternoon, when fatigue makes my heart more vulnerable, I choose to rest instead of replaying their words inside my head. At night, when loneliness tries to echo what they said, I replace it with gratitude for the small victories of the day. Time and time again, I pick myself up from the ground and remind myself that I am not built to crumble under careless voices. I am built to grow, to rise, to continue. There is so much beauty in living with my own will, even though people may say I am wrong, even though they may say I will never be enough. I know that my own decision carries a power they cannot touch. My will is like a shield, invisible but unbreakable, guarding me from the words that were never meant to help me grow. My decision is a gentle yet firm reminder that I am the author of my own story. Yes, they can speak about me. Yes, they can assume about me, but no, they cannot determine the ending of my story. Every time I think about the pain that words can cause, I also think about the healing that silence can give. Silence allows me to remember the little details of life that often go unnoticed. The soft color of the sky before sunrise, the way the leaves sway with the wind, the calming rhythm of rain on the window, the steady heartbeat that reminds me I am alive. These details are proof that life offers more than just the echoes of other people's judgments. Life whispers to me in a gentler voice, reminding me that even though they say I am not enough, the universe has already given me everything I need to stand, to breathe, to feel. I know what they say about me is totally right, but only in their narrative. In my narrative, I am still learning, still fighting, still growing, still loving, and still protecting the fragile parts of my heart. In my story, I do not need perfection to deserve peace. I do not need to meet every expectation to deserve love. I only need to stay true to myself and guard my feelings from harm, because at the end of the day, I am the one who is to live with my choices, not them. There will always be voices, louder than thunder, trying to define me. Yet, as time goes on, I realize that those voices lose their power the moment I choose not to absorb them. The moment I decide to block their words, I reclaim my freedom. The moment I turn away from their judgments, I discover how beautiful it feels to belong to myself. The world may continue to speak, but I continue to live. The world may continue to judge, but I continue to breathe. The world may continue to remind me of my flaws, but I continue to love the person I am becoming. So here I am, holding on to my own will and my own decision. Here I am, protecting my heart like a sacred garden, where no harmful words are allowed to enter. Here I am, choosing to heal in my own time, to grow in my own way, to rise with my own strength. Because at the end of everything, when the noise fades and the silence returns, what matters most is not what they said about me, but how I chose to protect my feeling, how I chose to love myself, and how I chose to keep walking forward.